So thank you for watching today of my Gunpla tutorial. I'll be talking about, yes, better damage. Check it out. Hi there, welcome back. Kid here, you're watching Juzakidt Bookshop. Today my Gunpla tutorial. Yes, I'll be talking about our better damage. Right? So before I go into the tutorial, if you'd like to see more of this type of content, please remember to comment, like, subscribe and share the video. Right? So let's go into it. So as you see, this is the shoe that I'll be using for today. Because this is the figure itself also. So as you see on the shoe itself, there's already like some better damage. Right, I already did some, but without the paint yet. So how do I do this? First, the material you will need is really I will go through 3 of the better damage stuff that we're talking about today. So at first, you need a knife. It's like a Zacker knife, right? But of a different brand. Then you need like fouling material and a pin vise. Okay, so usually if you are doing like better damage, right, if you are doing on a master grade or a 144 type of figure, if you look at the better damage I'm doing right here, it's already quite a lot. Usually when people do this type of better damage, they will do it sparingly, but for me I'll do it a bit more than usual, because for a converge figure it's more. So for figure that's the smaller the figure, the more better damage you should do, so that it really attracts the eyes of the person that is looking at it. Because at a big figure, right, if you think of it, of a big figure, you even if you do 1 or 2 better damage type of like bullets hole and stuff, they will be they're already able to see it from far itself. But for a converge figure like this, a mini size one, from far, even if I do 1 or 2 bullet hole, no one will see it. So you need to do a bit more. So it depends on the size of your model itself, right? So what do I want to do? Firstly, let's do the bullet hole. So you just need to find where do you want the bullet hole to be. Let's I have already a few down here. Let's do it one more down here, right? So using a pin vise, right? Usually the pin vise will come with like a different size of it, right? So you see I have one pack that's really different size of the screw itself. So use one that's suitable for you. Just imagine that if you are like doing in a battle, what type of enemy will he encounter, and usually what do you think the bullet size will be, right? Let's say it's a very big bullet size, then it won't have this type of small effect, right? Usually those type of like bigger guns, it will really explode everything. So bullet size is usually a smaller caliber type of gun. So let's do it like this area down here. So usually what I do, I really like put on to like something to hold on to it against the table so that it get more stable. But for this converge type of plastic, right, it's usually more easy to penetrate through than the normal plastic that the normal Gundam use, like all the 144 MG and stuff. So those you really need a stable table for easier. So let's aim. So let's say I want to do it here, right? So I just need to aim. For a pin, okay, if you don't know how to use a pin vise, right, let me tell you. So if you look at the pin vise itself, right, so the on top here, it is really you can just turn it and you stabilize down. So what I'm going to do is really to stable it down and then turn it. Okay, for those who don't have a pin vise. So once again, aim, stable it down, then turn. Just apply a bit of force. Just a bit will do. You see that it's penetrating through, right? Yeah. And you have a hole down here. So usually when you're doing like this type of bullet holes, right, it depends on what you want. Some you want it to be like this, very more smoother type. You see that I have some down here, right, that is like not so smooth. So what I really do is when I screw it in, so I move it around so that the surrounding area, when it gets out, is really unsmooth. It depends on what type of caliber do you want. Some caliber will go through straight, but some is most are the twisting type, right? Some when if you want like more, if the caliber don't go through more, so usually it will do more damage. Depends on what type of caliber you want. This is how you do a bullet hole. So next you see that there's some scratches down there. Of course you can use painting like what I did on the chipping tutorial, that you can use those type of method to emulate it. But I would think that it would be even better that if we can do more texture on it. So this type of thing is very easy, just using an X-Acto knife. It's really going deep and scratch it out. You have to be careful of your hand. You can wear a glove and stuff that you want. Just going in and really scratch it to scratch out the material. See? This is how you do like a better damage. Yeah, if you look at the model itself, I don't know if you can see it under the lights. There's some texture down here. Is also really using the X-Acto knife to really scrape it. Right. I also can use like the pin vise to really screw the bullet hole in. But if you look at it, if you think of it, right, in a better damage, if he's using the shield to block through all the thing, usually the bullet will not get through the main body itself. Of course, you will like, maybe there will be some reflect, so you see scratches up here and here, but usually not the middle part where the shield is on, right? So you need to think of something like this when you're doing better damage. So after you have done something like this already, the third type of better damage, right, people use is using a file. So what they do is that after we have do a lot of batter on it, usually things will go wear and tear, right? So if you go wear and tear, of course you can use paint to stimulate it, but it's also good to, like, if you want some texture, that you can use a filing, right, to really go on it, to really file it. And you see like the scrape is off. Of course, like this, right, it really look like paint. If you want to paint, you can get this type of thing also. But I would say that if you want to even get more real better damage, it is really good to really create more texture. And then like this type of thing, you can really go to like all the edges. It should not be so sharp anymore. After some better damage, you can really like file it down to really like create more blunt area. Oops. Or maybe like the shield down here, you can, there's also some modelers down there. Maybe I will show it in other models when I'm doing it. If you want more texture, right, you can really like sand out the whole thing and then paint the whole thing over. If you want a more like rough type of texture, that's what people use file to do. There's also other type of techniques that people use, but I won't be showing it now. When I do it in a future tutorial, maybe I will show it. Right? For now, I will not show it first. Okay. So this is how better damage is. So next we'll go on to the painting part. Alright, so you see that from this, right, you see there's already a bit of better damage. I colored already. So firstly, what I did, right, you can use wash or like those type of pastel color powders. What I use is like I have this, so usually I will use this. So at first I will use the black color. If you can also use pastel, those type of pastel chalks, right, to substitute it too. So usually I will not use inside this, I will use the normal cotton bud so that I don't spoil it. So you just rub some black pigment on it, right? So you just go to the area that you want, then just apply on it. So usually you can just dab it in, step it, Just dip it. It's okay for it to dab around the area, because usually when things get fly through and stuff like that, because it's firepower explosive, right? All the fire gunpowder, so usually the surrounding will be a bit blackish. So you just need to dab it around the area. After that, you just need to look at the area. If it's too round, you just need to clear it, smoothen it out. Try to smoothen the area out so that you don't get like too fakey. Some what they did is like they will really like go into like circular motion to really smooth out it, so that it really disperse the thing. Depends on like what type of effect you want. So after you have smoothed out it, don't know whether you can see it on here. Alright, so just use a pen. Depends on what type of color you want. Usually you can use like silver or what. For me, I use polished metal by Ammo by Mick. Right, this is like one of my go-to color. Because this figure is small, so you should use some color that are even more striking. So in this case, this polished metal is really quite striking. So after you have done it to it, you just need to color the holes. You don't need to be very careful, because like when things fly through, right, when the metal bend, the surrounding will get bent a little too, so you will get a bit of the silver will go out a bit. If your figure are big enough, of course you can use dry brushing on the tip of it, but because these converge figures are quite small, so usually I will just paint over it. Right, so you see after painting it and highlighting it, then it looks more real. Of course, it won't look just like this. Now you will look like a bit just fresh from it. But after the whole shield, I will go into weather it even more, so that everything will blend in nicely. Don't worry if it doesn't look too good after you just finish it. Right? After everything is weathered, it will look fine. Yep, this is how you do like marks on it. Like for this type of thing, down here, like what I found just now, what I would do is that using like a more bluish color. You see I painted a bit of bluish color over it. It's really same as the chipping tutorial that I do. So this is like the wear and tear of it. And then after, you can do some silver over it. Just stippling. Yeah, and there you go. So after this, I will do more weathering around it. Then it will look even more real. Then it will make sense. Yep, that's all for today's tutorial. So I'll see you in the next tutorial, next video. Bye bye.